Welcome to tabbing your ICD-10-CM coding manual. This video is designed to help you to tab your ICD-10 codebook. It is important to mention that you may or may not be using the same edition of the ICD-10-CM codebook in this video. However, the instructions will be the same no matter which edition you may be currently using. Before you begin the tabbing exercise, you will need a pen, book tabs, and the ICD-10-CM codebook provided to you for your course. You can purchase whichever type of tabs you prefer at any office supply store. You will need to pause this video to label the tab and attach it to the outside edge of the page in your codebook once you've received the instruction on the location the tab should be placed. It is recommended that you write the information on the tab before you attach it to the outside edge of the codebook page. Are you ready? Let's begin. You will be placing a tab on the outside edge of the page at each of these locations throughout the ICD-10 codebook. Again, be sure to write the information on the tab before you attach it to your codebook page. Placing these tabs in your codebook can make navigating through your codebook easier while you are learning where the specific information is located to assign diagnosis codes. Your first tab will be placed at the table of contents. This tab will allow you to access the table easily when you need to reference page numbers throughout the ICD-10 codebook. Label this tab Table of Contents. Be sure to use the table of contents to identify the page numbers for tab placement throughout this exercise. The next tab will be placed at the beginning of the ICD-10-CM Official Guidelines for Coding and Reporting. This tab should be labeled Guidelines. Placing a tab here will allow you to access the guidelines quickly and easily when you need to refer to them for instructional support. Remember, you place the tab at your table of contents, so finding the page numbers for the placement locations of the tabs can be easily accessed. Now place the tab at the beginning of the alphabetic index to make it easy for you to navigate directly to the index when searching for identified main terms. Label this tab Alphabetic Index. You may choose to add additional labels after this exercise to divide the alphabetic index by letter. By labeling the table of neoplasms, you will be able to access the index terms for neoplasms easily when searching for codes. Label this tab Table of Neoplasms. The table of drugs and chemicals is the next place you will place a tab. This tab allows you to locate a drug code for a poisoning or an adverse effect quickly. Label this tab Table of Drugs and Chemicals. Placing a tab at the index to external causes of injuries will help you identify this index easily when searching for an external cause code. Label this tab Index to External Causes. Now that you have the indexes, the guidelines, and the tables labeled, let's start placing a tab at the beginning of each of the 21 chapters throughout the tabular list. These are a few examples of the information you can put on the tab. Remember, the tab is there to help guide you to the specific range of codes that include the code you identified from the alphabetic index. Be sure the information is written bold and clear on each tab to avoid confusion when you are verifying codes in the tabular list. The code range for the chapter is identified on the edge of the page as well as the beginning of the chapter throughout the ICD-10 codebook. Chapter 1 is labeled with code range A00 through B99. Chapter 2 is labeled C00 through D49. Chapter 3 is labeled D50 through D89. Chapter 4 is labeled E00 through E89. Chapter 5 is labeled F01 through F99. Chapter 6 is labeled G00 through G99. Chapter 7 is labeled H00 through H59. Chapter 8 is labeled H60 through H95. Chapter 9 is labeled I00 through I99. Chapter 10 is labeled J00 through J99. Chapter 11 is labeled K00 through K95. Chapter 12 is labeled L00 through L99. Chapter 13 is labeled M00 through M99. Chapter 14 is labeled N00 through N99. Chapter 15 codes begin with the letter O. This can look confusing when used in conjunction with a 0. It is recommended that you identify your 0 in this chapter by marking them with a slash or dash. Chapter 15 is labeled O00 through O9A. Chapter 16 is labeled P00 through P96. Chapter 17 is labeled Q00 through Q99. Be sure to make the Q obvious when labeling the tab, so it is not confused with the letter O or a 0. Chapter 18 is labeled R00 through R99. Chapter 19 is labeled S00 through T88. Chapter 20 is labeled V01 through Y99. Again, because you have a V and a Y, be sure to write each letter bold and clear on the tab to avoid confusion. Finally, Chapter 21 is labeled Z00 through Z99. The Z can be confused with the number 2, so be sure to write it clear and bold on the tab. Now that you've placed the tabs in your ICD-10-CM codebook, you will use the book to complete your assignment. If you have any difficulty completing or submitting your assignment, please contact your instructor.